The truth is finally out, and it's bad.
Caravan manufacturer Jayco is being sued in the federal court for misleading customers. The consumer watchdog claims the company wasn't telling the truth.
A massive recall just revealed dangerous wiring hidden beneath thousands of motorhomes built in the last 2 years. Dealers can't sell them, owners can't move them, and insurance companies are already raising rates. What started as a quiet supplier issue turned into a full-blown safety nightmare, the result of rushed production, skipped inspections, and corporate cover-ups. This isn't the story they wanted you to hear, but you need to. The hidden recall. A federal safety bulletin filed under recall identification number 25V147 listed more than 25,000 Forest River motorhomes built between 2023 and 2025. The notice claimed a supplier variance. On paper, that sounds harmless. Inside the industry, it means something very different. Production moved faster than the suppliers could maintain quality. Wiring harnesses arrived with thinner insulation, junction crimps failed heat resistance tests, and connectors that should have been rejected were installed anyway. The phrase was corporate camouflage for one thing, speed over safety. Owners were told to park their coaches until replacement kits arrived, but the kits didn't exist yet. Dealers couldn't deliver new units, and buyers who already had them were suddenly holding assets under investigation. When a company blames variance, it's really saying, we built too many, too fast. But once you see why they pushed production so hard, the bigger picture and the real financial fallout comes into focus. The speed shortcut. After the pandemic backlog, Forest River executives demanded a record recovery. In early 2024, internal schedules show the Elkhart line accelerating from 42 to almost 50 units a day, an 18% jump overnight. Torque checks that once took 3 minutes were cut to 1. Final stage inspectors were told to clear coaches if visuals looked clean. That single shortcut set off a chain reaction. Loose fasteners around high amperage wiring began to vibrate on rough roads, chafing insulation and exposing live copper to the metal frame. A few failures became dozens. Dealers began reporting melted fuses and scorched panels before the first recall even posted. Engineers knew the issue, but production targets didn't change. Each delay meant penalty costs from suppliers and lost bonus pay for plant leads. The faster they worked, the deeper the defect spread. For buyers, that race translated directly into risk, the kind measured not in theory but in repair bills and insurance hikes. The cost of that rush didn't just show up in recall filings, it showed up on price tags dropping faster than anyone expected. If you've seen anything like this, strange recalls, dealer excuses, or safety issues, drop a comment below. Hit like so more motorhome owners see what's really happening. Numbers on paper. Look at the math that dealers can't hide. A 2024 Georgetown GT7 rolled out with a sticker price of $152,990. 2 months later, the same unit appeared on regional listings for $118,400. By the end of the quarter, auction data logged it at $99,700, roughly a 35% collapse from MSRP. That isn't normal depreciation, that's panic pricing. Each downgrade reflects the recall stigma already priced in by lenders and wholesalers who refuse to finance unrepaired stock. Floor plan banks revalue collateral weekly, and when a coach loses 10 grand in book value, the dealer must cover that gap in cash. Multiply that by dozens of units, and you can see why lots across Indiana and Texas are suddenly flooded with clearance banners. The market isn't soft, it's reacting to liability. Early buyers who paid retail just watched $20,000 in equity vanish before their first service interval. Those numbers didn't leak from analysts. They came straight from the dealers who can't move inventory and are now whispering about what's really happening behind closed doors. Dealer whispers. Inside service departments, the language has changed. One internal memo, circulated through Forest River's dealer portal, read bluntly, "Stop sale until remedy verified." That single sentence froze millions in inventory overnight. Every motorhome sitting on a lot still accrues floor plan interest, averaging about $1,100 a month per unit. The longer the recall drags, the more that interest eats through dealer margins. Some have already started offloading new stock at invoice, or less just to cut financing losses. A few independents have stopped ordering altogether, telling customers they'd rather risk losing sales than handle another manufacturer apology. Behind the polite smiles and polished showrooms, most dealers know they're one defective wiring harness away from a lawsuit. They may smile in commercials, but the whispers tell a different story. One of sleepless nights, frozen cash flow, and calls to lenders begging for extensions. For owners, those whispers matter because they reveal the truth dealers won't say out loud. Your motorhome's value isn't slipping by accident. It's sinking under a system that pushed production past its limits and now can't afford the fallout. Inventory freeze. Across the country, dealership lots look full, but nearly half those motorhomes are legally unsellable. Once the federal recall notice hit, Forest River's network was ordered to lock down all affected Class A and Class C units until replacement wiring kits arrived. The problem? Those parts were still in manufacturing backlogs. Every week, a coach sits unsold, floor plan interest piles up, roughly $1,100 per month per vehicle, plus storage and insurance on top. For a medium-sized dealer holding 40 coaches, that's close to $50,000 burning off the books before one sale clears. Even worse, warranty clocks still tick from the factory shipment date, meaning months of lost coverage time before owners even get delivery. Some dealers tried hiding affected VINs in the back rows to keep appearances strong, but customers noticed. The result is gridlock. Metal they can't sell, banks they can't satisfy, and buyers who now see discounts as warning signs instead of bargains. And when that gridlock hit the financing side, the panic spread from the lots straight into the boardrooms holding the purse strings, the credit clamp. Forest River's parent, Berkshire Hathaway, operates one of the largest floor plan financing arms in the industry. Once recall exposure became clear, their internal auditors cut credit lines by 15% across several regions, demanding fresh collateral from dealers already choking on unsold stock. For big franchises, that meant tapping personal reserves. For small independents, it meant liquidation. Within weeks, listings appeared showing invoice clearance events on nearly new motorhomes, units priced at cost just to pay down loans. One Indiana retailer closed 2 of its satellite locations, citing extended manufacturer holdbacks. The credit clamp triggered a cascade. Banks raised interest spreads, suppliers delayed shipments, and regional distributors suddenly required proof of recall completion before funding. A single corporate decision froze the cash flow that kept the entire ecosystem alive. The math is brutal. When financing disappears, dealers don't just lose inventory, they lose survival time. The proof of that clampdown didn't stay hidden for long. Receipts began leaking, and they paint a clearer picture than any press release ever will. Receipts in plain sight. One dealer bulletin dated April 5th landed on internal message boards with a single chilling line. VIN ranged through April 5 under stop sale until remedy verification complete. That phrase confirmed what rumors had already predicted. No Forest River dealer could legally deliver affected models, regardless of deposits or signed contracts. Customers ready to pick up new motorhomes were suddenly told their rigs were awaiting parts without a timeline. Screenshot after screenshot hit online forums showing identical notices, each stamped with a different dealer logo. Buyers began comparing notes, realizing this wasn't isolated, it was coordinated. Some even found that their VINs appeared twice in recall databases. Once under the manufacturer's notice, again under a supplier recall for the same defect. That duplication exposed how deep the wiring issue ran. Behind the scenes, warranty representatives tried to calm dealers with estimated shipment mid-May messages, but nothing. Concrete arrived. The receipts spoke louder than the reassurances. And for smart buyers, those receipts signaled not just chaos, but opportunity, if they know how to read the timing window correctly. The buyer leverage window. In the motorhome world, a 60-day stop sale cycle is both a curse and a gift. For dealers, it means frozen capital. For cash buyers, it opens rare negotiating power. Here's how it works. Once a recall fix is verified with completion code R1, the dealer can relist the unit, but they need that sale immediately to avoid another month of interest charges. Each extra week costs them hundreds, so discount margins widen fast. A savvy buyer who verifies the recall repair and holds firm can save between 10 and 15% off list price, sometimes more if the dealer's floor plan note is expiring. But that leverage only lasts until the recall backlog clears and inventory starts moving again. The window typically closes within 30 days of parts arrival, when confidence returns and prices normalize. Knowing that clock gives you control. The trick isn't rushing in, it's waiting just long enough to let dealer panic do the work for you. Because once the dust settles and financing starts flowing again, the market resets, and those who waited with patience and proof end up miles ahead of everyone who bought in fear. The depreciation curve. By spring of 2025, the used motorhome charts told a painful truth. MarketWatch tracked Class A values down 11% year to date, while Class C units slipped 8%. That decline alone erased nearly $15,000 in resale value for the average owner. But analysts warn it is only the first leg of the slide. Forest River's backlog clearance plans mean thousands of post-recall units will flood auctions by June, each discounted to move. When supply surges, lenders rewrite book values downward within weeks, pulling trade-in offers with them. Dealers then adjust online listings, triggering another wave of markdowns that drag good units down alongside defective ones. The pattern mirrors what happened after the 2022 towing axle recall. Prices fell steadily for 90 days after parts arrived. Owners who sell too early absorb the loss. Those who wait until the market stabilizes often reclaim several thousand in value. Depreciation is predictable, but only for those paying attention to timing. And while values slip quietly, another cost is climbing: insurance, where even a single unrepaired VIN number now changes the math completely. Insurance backlash. Insurers have started reading the recall lists as risk maps. Both Progressive and State Farm filed updated underwriting schedules showing premium adjustments up 12% for unrepaired Forest River VINs. The logic is simple. A wiring defect increases the probability of total loss fire claims, and carriers will not shoulder that risk for free. The fix is straightforward but time-sensitive. Before renewal, owners should log on to the Federal Recall Portal, enter the 17-digit VIN, and confirm a remedy completed status. If the line still reads open, the company's algorithms automatically flag the vehicle for a higher rate. One policyholder shared documentation showing a $450 annual hike that vanished the moment proof of completion was uploaded. For families on fixed incomes, that paperwork is the difference between manageable coverage and another unexpected bill. The insurance backlash is real, and it punishes silence more than defects. The paperwork you file today can save hundreds every single renewal cycle. Once the insurance side is handled, the next step is knowing how to buy or rebuy with certainty that your coach is fixed, covered, and worth the money. The Smart Buyer Checklist. Every cautious buyer now asks for 3 forms of proof before signing. First, the recall lookup printout showing the VIN marked Remedy Complete. Second, a photograph of the service label affixed near the driver's side frame rail. Forest River's updated protocol stamps each completed unit with a small silver sticker listing the repair code: R1 for wiring, R2 for hardware. If that label is missing, the work may never have been done. Third, a written warranty extension acknowledging the recall date. Many dealers quietly offer 6 additional months of coverage to restore trust, but only if buyers request it. Think of these as receipts, not paperwork. They turn a risky purchase into a documented investment in reliability. Without them, you are relying on verbal promises that vanish when management changes. The checklist may feel tedious, but it transforms you from a potential victim into an informed negotiator who knows what safe to sell really means. Still, even the smartest checklist loses value if you buy at the wrong time. And timing, more than anything else, separates buyers who save thousands from those who miss their window. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe right now. We're tracking the next wave of recalls and price drops, and you'll want the facts before dealers spin them. Timing the drop. Every dealer operates on the same financial clock called the floor plan cycle. When model year rollovers hit mid-May, banks recalculate interest on every unsold coach. That reset can add hundreds of dollars per unit each month, and to avoid the charge, dealers unload inventory fast. The sweet spot for buyers usually opens during the 30-day countdown before that rollover, when desperation outweighs pride. Hold your offer until the second week of May, confirm the recall completion, and present your cash or pre-approved financing. Most dealers will cut another 5% rather than pay another month of interest. Waiting those few weeks can mean $7,000 to $10,000 back in your pocket on a $100,000 coach. Is not luck. It is arithmetic. Understanding when dealers feel the squeeze turns market fear into your leverage, giving you control over both price and peace of mind. Because after the timing window closes and the next shipment hits the lots, the industry's attention shifts from discounts to damage control, and those who moved patiently will already be miles ahead. Inside the plant. A leaked timesheet from Forest River's Elkhart plant revealed the truth. Line speed jumped from 42 to 58 units per day. Efficiency on paper, chaos in practice. Inspectors once given 12 minutes per motorhome had fewer than 9. No voltage tests, no thermal scans, no safety margin. Technicians called it building on borrowed seconds. Management labeled it throughput optimization, but everyone knew it meant cutting corners. Each skipped check traded safety for speed, pushing unseen defects into the hands of buyers. worse. When production outruns verification, every minute saved costs thousands later. This scandal wasn't accident or oversight. It was haste, disguised as progress, engineered into every unit. And while the workers fought the clock, the corporation built something stronger than steel to shield itself. A firewall made of lawyers, ledgers, and silence. The corporate firewall. Berkshire Hathaway's latest filing exposed what silence tried to hide. Warranty reserves for its motorhome division rose 19% year over year. Tens of millions quietly set aside for recall fallout. Investors called it caution. Insiders called it fear. Analysts whispered about strategic restructuring, hinting Berkshire could sell or split parts of Forest River to contain losses. Executives projected calm, while internal memos advised teams to limit forward-facing commentary. Translation: speak less, settle faster. This legal firewall shields responsibility, not data. Shareholders noticed, and vague talk of market normalization fooled no one. When Berkshire starts padding reserves, it's because bigger trouble is already on the books. Yet while executives build walls of paperwork, regulators and lawyers are already digging under them, determined to expose what those filings tried to bury. Regulators and lawyers move in. By late spring, lawsuits hit fast. Several class actions in Indiana courts accused Forest River of systemic negligence for ignoring known wiring risks. Simultaneously, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration proposed cutting recall windows from 120 to 60 days, adding fines up to $30,000 per unit per day for delays. Legal teams now face discovery demands while engineers race to meet compliance deadlines. Every filing exposes more evidence: emails, inspection logs, supplier notes, turning speculation into record. The lawsuits may drag on for years, but one thing is certain: accountability has shifted from voluntary promises to regulatory enforcement. The corporate clock just ran out, and as regulators tighten deadlines and investors brace for impact, ordinary owners still hold more power than they realize, if they know how to use it. Your next move. If you own a Forest River motorhome, act tonight. Check your 17-digit VIN on the Federal Recall Portal, print the result, and keep it with your title. If it shows open, contact your dealer for written repair proof and an estimated completion date. Save every receipt and email. They protect your resale value later. Then wait until late May before any purchase or trade. That's when dealers reset floor plans and cut the best prices. Patience can save $7,000 to $10,000. Don't rush, verify, document, and let timing work for you. In a market built on speed and secrecy, knowledge remains your most valuable currency, because while the system hides behind complexity, the informed driver who reads the receipts drives away with confidence, not regret. And that's the quiet victory that changes everything. The truth is out. Forest River's production scandal isn't just headlines. It's a wake-up call for every motorhome owner. Check your VIN, protect your investment, and never trust silence over proof, because the next recall wave is already forming, and those who wait will pay for it. Stay alert, stay informed, and remember, knowledge isn't fear, it's freedom. Subscribe now, because the road ahead may be rough, but together, we'll make sure you're never blindsided again.